Curve price prediction for CRV Curve. I'm going to give you guys here my exact targets for Curve in this price prediction. And if you guys hold a ton of Curve, you want to stay tuned because I'm going to show you guys here where I see Curve topping out this bull market. Okay. Now, before that, I want to share BTCC. This is the place where I love to buy all coins. They've been here since 14 years. No hacks, KYC free, VPN free. And, you know, they have proof of reserves too, which is pretty good. So if you use my link, you get 10% deposit bonus over 500 bucks with the max reward being 10K. So definitely take advantage of it. They do have an app and they have a lot of low cap coins as well. So check it out in the pinned comment, BTCC. Great exchange, by the way. So let's take a look here at Curve. I'm going to give you guys here my exact price targets, but let's kind of like look at it right now in the short period of time before we get into the price predictions here. But we can kind of see in the naked chart, this is a bullish chart right off the bat, right? Because you can see that we're kind of, it's basically an inverted head and shoulders ultimately, right? You can see it right there. So Curve hasn't really broken out of this inverse head and shoulders, but once we start to do here, we're gonna start to move fast. Okay, so inverse head and shoulders are very bullish bottoming patterns, and once we break out of that and we confirm that, we move big. And I'm very bullish on this structure here for Curve. I don't even need an indicator to show you that I'm bullish. But we're going to take a look here at some MAs. Here we can see on the weekly that 200 MA on the weekly is being resistance right now. And we haven't, this is new, right? This is since June 2024. So on the weekly, that 200 in orange, boom, right? Like you can see how many wicks we try to like wick. We just can't break it. So we might come back here in the short period, right, to test that 25, possibly around 60 cents, 67 to 70 cents. Okay, maybe 75 cents here, back to flip that resistance as support. So you might pull back to those levels here for Curve, which would be bullish actually. On the daily, you can see right here that we're kind of, you know, we're trying to hold that 50, but we're getting rejected here. So we're kind of in between here. And on the monthly, that the resistance is the 50 MA. So you can see on the weekly, it's the 200 MA, but on the monthly, it's the 50 MA. Okay, and we're holding that 25. So again, Curve, very bullish structure. We can just, I mean, if we have a pullback here to 75 cents to 70 cents, we put in a higher low, and then we go up, and then we break through those resistance and continue this uptrend. This is very bullish. Even with a pullback, I would say the pullback makes it even more bullish. So short term, I believe Curve is looking great. Okay, so now let's take a look here at a very important chart, which is the Curve BTC chart. If you hold a ton of Curve, you want to have this in your watch list because this is Curve versus Bitcoin. And you can see that obviously the last few years in the bear market, especially, Curve has been it's been underperforming Bitcoin. Right, Bitcoin's been outperforming Curve. That's why you see this massive downtrend. But why Curve is so bullish right now is because it's doing something similar to Ethereum. It found the bottom, and now it's starting to outperform Bitcoin. It had a nice pump here recently, but it's been choppy. But very, very soon we're going to, you know, put in a new high, be choppy again, and kind of, you know, have this ladder pattern, right? It's not going to be as fast as this one, but it's going to be this massive pivot to the upside. And one thing that you want to look at for this chart is once we get here to these levels around here, that's when you want to kind of examine where we are in the charts in the bull market, because it might be where Curve possibly tops out. Now, the good thing about Curve is that last cycle, you can see that we topped out back in January of 2022. So Curve was a late runner. And it stuck out a little bit more, at least 2 months more, because most coins topped out here in November. Okay, November 2021. That's it. Yeah, 2021. And Curve, we did pull back here, but then we went back up, right? Massive fake out. And then that was the top right there. So this just tells me that Curve might be slower here, right? It might be ETH is obviously going to run first. Other layer ones will run first. But Curve will probably stick around a little bit longer when the top is in, maybe 1 or 2 months, just like last cycle. Okay, so that kind of gives you an insight on the best times to sell Curve. Okay, so now this is another very important chart, which is the Curve long chart. Basically, when longs are making money, when people are trading Curve and they're making money on longs, this is the 3x, you're going to see this chart go up. Now it's going down slightly because the market's pulling back, but once we start to get up here to this level and people are just making a ton of money leverage trading longs for Curve, that's going to be a big signal that we might be near top. And in reverse, this chart is the shorts. And you can see that we're going way up here because the market's coming down. So people are making big money on Curve shorts. Okay. So again, all these, I show you guys these charts because they're all correlated. Obviously the Bitcoin dominance chart as well. You want to combine it with the Bitcoin, with the CRV Bitcoin chart, but it's all correlated, guys. And it's just going to help you. It's going to give you more weapons to possibly top out, find the top for Curve. Now, let me show you guys here my exact price point here, my price prediction here, of course, using my Fibonacci strategy, which you guys can learn how to use, get the settings and everything in my course. Oh, and also, before I even show that, let me show you guys something here in the short term here that to me is very bullish here for Curve. And it kind of shows you basically how this works, right? I mean, you can see right here, and this is what I teach in my course. What do you see right here? Why did Curve pump here, right? We see a higher high, clear higher high, but on the stochastic, we see a lower low. You see that? So we see a higher low. Did I say higher high? I meant higher low. Higher low for Curve. But on stochastic, we have a lower low. Well, that's hidden bullish divergence. And this is what I have here in my cheat sheet, the Sir Lewis cheat sheet in my course. You guys can find it in the description below. But Curve is putting an HL, right? Higher low. While the stochastic is putting an LL, lower low. And that is hidden bullish divergence. Okay. Again, my cheat sheet has a bunch of very important things here that I teach and I show here in the charts. But this is bullish divergence, and you can see this has been playing out, right? It's on the weekly, so it might take a time here for this to really take off. But ever since then, we've been up here and putting in new highs. So just wanted to share that before we look at the exact targets. Now let's take a look here at the exact targets here for Curve, because I'm very bullish on Curve. You can also kind of see here at the 0.5 is where it's getting that resistance, which is the 200 on the weekly and the 50 on the monthly. And now on my Fibonacci level is that 0.5. So once we can pull back here to the 618, which would be bullish, put in a higher low, and then break through that 0.5, and then the next target would be around 170. Okay. Now Curve's last all-time high, it went up to basically 697. And my first target here, my first conservative target is 1850. So that's my first target, 1850. My next target is 2777. Okay, so around here, around 27, 28. Basically, this is my sell zone. This is my sell zone from 1850 to 2750 is my sell zone for Curve. So once we're up here near these levels, most likely we will be near the end of the cycle, and Curve will probably top out somewhere around here. Now, the highest I see Curve going up to, which is the 618, which is less the probability it goes up there, but the highest is 65 bucks. Okay, so I think it's very unlikely that Curve goes there, but just in case we really see a big adoption on Curve, we know stable coins are going to be big, right? Fundamentally, Curve is very big on that, and it's on Ethereum. So if you see a lot of adoption and a lot of bullish news on Curve, that's the highest I see it going to. But conservatively, 850 to 2750 is my price target, which from right now, where it's at right now, obviously it will be different when you watch this, but to 850 right now is a 20x. To 2750 from right now would be basically a 30x. So that is still very, very big. And again, Curve hasn't really broken out of this inverse head and shoulders, so it hasn't really exploded here. It will explode once it breaks out of this. It's gonna come up here to 288, right? So 170, 288. That's when it's really gonna break out of this. So I'm bullish on Curve. Let me know what you guys think below. Comment, request a coin. Towards the end of the video, see the playlist. You guys can check it out. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.